The Vaporfly was the OG super shoe, and I've got many happy memories running in this one all those years ago. When it first dropped, Nike were head and shoulders above the competition, but over the last 8 years or so, the rest of the market has really caught up, and some might say they've even overtaken Nike. Now, Nike have launched this, the Vaporfly version 4. So much has changed in this shoe, and it feels like Nike are now the ones trying to play catch up. So with all these changes, can we still call this a marathon shoe? How does it stack up against the competition, the Pro 4 from Adidas, for example, or even Nike's own Alphafly? And most importantly, how fast is this shoe? Is it still the go-to shoe out there? We'll be answering all those questions and more in this 100% honest review, because as always, I bought this shoe 100% with my money to give that a completely honest, impartial review. Right, let's get stuck in with the difference between this and the outgoing version 3. Version 3 was a bit of a Marmite shoe. Some people loved it, some people hated it. I had some really fantastic runs in Chicago, New York, and in Valencia a couple of years ago with this very shoe. But now this has launched. It is so different, so let's go through those changes. We've now got a lower drop in this shoe. It's now 6mm. The outgoing model was 8. A lower stack height. Now this is at 35mm at the back of the shoe and at 29mm at the front of the shoe. There is a new shape to the carbon plate through this shoe. It now has a slightly different angle. It's gone from 15 to 20%, and it sits much closer to the back of the foot here. It's now significantly lighter as well. Big reduction in weight with the shoe. We'll come on to that in the facts and figures. It's also £5 more expensive than the outgoing model, but that came out a couple of years ago, so probably with inflation it's actually a little bit cheaper. Lacing is now on top of the shoe rather than that quirky offset version they had to the side on the version 3. And then finally we have a different upper material. We've moved away from that fly knit in the outgoing model, and we've now got this engineered mesh, which is very, very breathable. Right, let's move on to all of the facts and figures. So the purpose of Vaporfly version 4, this is a road racing shoe. Nike say mile to marathon and everything in between. We'll go on some specific distances later on. Price wise, this set me back £240, 260 euros, 260 American dollars, 360 Aussie dollars, or 340 Canadian dollars. Stack height at the back of the shoe, 35mm. Vaporfly kind of set the standard for those new athletics rules at 40mm. Most high-end marathon racing shoes are at that 40mm legal limit. This is a little bit under that now, 35mm. It's been a big change. Drop with the shoe, a 6mm drop overall. Weight-wise, this is incredible. I think this might be one of the lightest shoes I've ever run in. Just 210 grams from me in my UK size 12, run about a 15% decrease from the outgoing model. For reference, something like the Adidas version 9 is exactly the same weight in these two shoes, and also the Streetfly version 1, very, very lightweight, snappy speed shoes. Again, 210 grams. They're all the same for me. That just shows just how lightweight this Vaporfly is. The upper with the shoe, we've got this new tongue design, slightly larger and sitting on top of the foot. There's no gusset to this tongue, but I've had absolutely no movement in that, so it's been absolutely fine. Flyknit is out, and in comes this engineered mesh upper, which I feel is a really big upgrade. It's very thin, very breathable, and helps keep that shoe super light as well. The heel counter at the back of the shoe is definitely on the stiffer side. You're getting a good amount of padding inside with that heel pad as well, very similar to the outgoing model. Move on and have a chat about the midsole. We've got a full-length carbon fiber fly plate here with two ZoomX chunks of foam, one above it and one beneath it as well. Nike's flagship Peber-based foam there, super lightweight. Moving on to have a chat about the outsole. We've now got this full coverage of rubber here on the outsole, very similar in design to version 1 and version 2 of Vaporfly. We've got a new, slightly different compound for version 4. The grip's been okay. A really big bonus with this shoe is it's super silent as you run along as well. For people that don't like how Alphafly sounds, this is really silent as you run along. Moving on to have a chat about colours. This is Nike's Proto colorway. There's going to be a couple of other colorways coming along very, very shortly. A red one and a kind of a bluey option. We'll put those up on the screen now. I personally really love the red colour. My girlfriend who's editing this video really doesn't. Let us know what colour are you going to choose, or what colour would you choose if you're going to be getting the shoe. But one thing we definitely both agree on and love is the amazing colour of our new lens flare tee, which you can see on screen now, which you can pick up at benparks.com. We're shipping worldwide. side. If you want to get a little discount on that, feel free to use code YouTube10 for 10% off. Thank you very much for everybody that supports the channel and allows us to bring you these completely honest, unsponsored reviews. There are no different widths available in the shoe, and it was true to size for me. Really good fit in this one. Right, let's have a chat all about the likes. The first thing to chat about here is the sheer lightness of the shoe. As I say, for me it's the same weight as Streetfly version 1, the Adidas version 9. They are incredibly light shoes, and what Nike have done with this one to strip out some of that weight but keep the rigidity, I think they're going to be keeping the durability with this one as well. It's just amazing. It just disappears under your body when you run. It's so smooth through that foot strike as well. It really just brings a smile to your face to be finally running in something that's so light and snappy and fun to run in. The second like with the shoe, just the upper is so much better than the outgoing version 3. The lockdown is really good. Personally, I didn't get any heel slip in the shoe. I have been seeing some reports of people getting some heel slip. You can use a runner's knot at the top of the shoe as well, just to increase that lockdown, but for me, it didn't give me any issues. There's a lot less material up at the front of the shoe. With the outgoing model, I used to get some bunching in there just because my feet are a little bit more on the narrow side, but I'm just getting a so much better lockdown. It just hugs the foot so much better in the shoe. Absolutely no movement at all. And also a little shout out to the laces on this shoe. I really like the outgoing laces. These ones are just a little bit better. They're a little bit more stretchy, and they just hold the foot that little bit better as well, and they just lock down really nicely with the little nodules that they have going along the laces. Breathability is absolutely fantastic in this shoe. You can see in some of these clips here, I've got some fluorescent yellow socks on, which you can see inside the shoe here. The really cool sort of breathability coming out the back of the shoe as well. I've never seen anything like that, but your feet are definitely not going to overheat in these ones. And my final like with this shoe, it's just damn fast, basically. Fast, very fast, but a really natural feel with this shoe. Just feeling a little bit more connected to the ground. The foam is a little bit on the firmer side as these super shoes go, which I think really suits this shoe well for what it's targeted at with those 5Ks, 10Ks and half marathons. Yes, it's a little bit more of an old-fashioned ride, but the positioning and angle of the plate makes it feel super quick, and it really is quick. And with that lightness, it means it's got an amazing turn of speed to get back up to your pace or off the start line, things like that. You can just get up to full whack really quite quickly. So without doubt, Nike have really produced an incredibly fast shoe here. But as we always say on the channel, it's not all about the likes. Let's go through the dislikes. First dislike with the shoe, not much stability with this one. Given it's a little bit narrow through the midfoot here, heel strikers could suffer with this foam at the back of the shoe. It's not going to be the most stable. There's also not much grip at the back of the shoe. These small little rubber pads here, that's just not providing so much. I think heel strikers, like a lot of the shoes at the moment, just not going to get much stability with the back of the shoe. So if you're someone that needs a lot of support in their racing shoe, this might well be one to avoid. There's also not too much width up front. It's a little bit snug through the midfoot as well. Regular footed runners, narrow footed runners are going to be absolutely fine. And as I said, heel strikers are really going to struggle with durability at the back of the shoe, I think. And then you've got quite a lot of exposed foam through the middle of the shoe here as well. So just might be some durability issues. Now moving on to have a chat. Is it a little bit like the elephant in the room? I'm not sure. But Nike seem to have really chosen to move the Vaporfly away from that marathon distance. It's now so much lighter with a slightly firmer ride and less stack height as well. Some runners out there, definitely more on the elite and sub-elite side, might well quite like this for a marathon shoe because it just feels so natural. But for the masses, there really isn't going to be enough underneath the feet to support them over the whole marathon distance, especially when that fatigue sets in towards the end of a race. When their form starts to get a little bit sloppy, heel striking comes into the mix as well, and given that rear foot instability, it's not going to be too good. For the half marathon and shorter, I really think it's going to be fine for the vast majority of people. No doubt Nike want to make some differentiation between this and the Alphafly. They've definitely done that with this move. I just wish personally they kept a little bit more foam, maybe just a little bit more weight. It sounds so lightweight. Maybe have it at that 39mm, and then it would have been an amazing shoe over the marathon distance. Anyway, let's have a chat all about this and the best kind of marathon shoe at the moment, which is the Adidas Pro version 4. The Pro 4, £20 cheaper. The Vaporfly, significantly lighter, 210 grams versus 237. I can just tell that holding these two shoes in the hand. When you're actually running in them, it's not quite as noticeable. The Adidas shoe has rods running through the shoe, which is a slightly different sensation than the Vaporfly having a carbon plate in the shoe. The Adidas has a much more aggressive rocker at the front of the shoe, something the Vaporfly really doesn't have. I haven't really touched on that yet, but the rocker at the front really is not that that pronounced. The Pro 4, a little bit more on the stiffer side with those rods compared to the plates in the Alphafly. The Adios, definitely a much more of a softer ride as well, and a little bit more stable. It's wider, and it's going to be a little bit more suited to that half marathon and marathon distance, in my opinion. A lot more protection with the foam in the shoe because it's much softer. It's going to absorb that impact a little bit better in the marathon distance. Nike, lighter, more efficient, very nimble, faster, definitely over those shorter distances, but on the narrower side. Right, let's have a chat between this and the Alphafly, Nike's kind of now flagship marathon racer. Alphafly significantly more expensive, depending on which version you're buying, around about £45 more expensive. Vaporfly, clearly a hell of a lot lighter than the Alphafly. The Alpha weighs 269 grams. The Alphafly really happiest cruising at that marathon pace. It's not as quick, definitely not as nimble and snappy, but it will look after your legs a hell of a lot better over the marathon distance. You just got so much more foam, AirPods in here to help absorb that impact as well. And so for a lot of people, they will be favoring this over the marathon distance. Vaporfly, far more natural, smoother ride, so much lighter, happiest at that 5K, 10K, half marathon pace. For sure, if you've got the strength, then this can be used for a marathon shoe. But I think a lot of people, if you want to be out there with some Nike shoes, this is now really going to be the one to go for over the marathon distance. Or if you were a big fan of racing marathons in version 3, then stock up on it. There still should be some good stock around. You should be able to get some good prices as well. Right, my conclusions and final thoughts today on this shoe. I definitely do recommend it. Vaporfly is back and it's a real winner, but it's a different shoe, no doubt. But in the right case scenarios, using on the right distances for the right sort of people, you're going to have a very fast shoe on your feet. It's as fast as ever, but certainly now not a marathon race shoe for many people out there. Given that huge weight decrease, I really love how snappy it is. I love the ground feel you get through the foot strike in the shoe. You can really pick up some serious speed in the shoe, and it wants to go fast. It will happily sustain that faster pace as well. For most people, this can be a rapid option for 5Ks, 10Ks, and that half marathon. Heel strikers are going to struggle with the instability through the shoe as well. The majority of marathon runners really are going to be a bit more supported in something like the Pro 4 or the Alphafly version 3. So that's it, guys. Let me know your thoughts on Vaporfly version 4. Are you going to be checking it out? Are you going to be ordering it? If you want to check out another couple of videos, check out my full review of the Adidas Pro 4 up here, or the Nike Vaporfly 18 up here, which could be a really good daily option to go with the Vaporfly version 4. So that's it, guys. Keep on working hard, keep on getting it done, and see you very soon in the next one.